Imagine standing at the altar on what should be the happiest day of your life, your heart pounding with joy and nerves, only to glance back and see your parents, the two people who sacrificed everything for you, standing awkwardly at the back of the venue, no seats reserved for them. No chairs, no place of honor, just polite but distant smiles from the crowd as if they were distant relatives who showed up uninvited. That was me, Sarah, on my wedding day. And what happened next changed everything, not just for that moment, but for my entire family. If you've ever felt torn between love and loyalty, or watched your parents fade into the background while you chased your dreams, stick with me through this story. It's raw, it's real, and by the end, I hope it reminds you to fight for what matters most. If it touches your heart, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more stories that celebrate family, courage, and second chances. Let's dive in. I grew up in a modest two-bedroom apartment on the outskirts of the city. My parents, Maria and Roberto, were immigrants who left everything behind in their home country to give me a better life. Dad worked 2 jobs, as a mechanic by day and a security guard by night, while Mom cleaned houses and took in sewing work to make ends meet. They never complained. Every extra penny went toward my school books, my dance classes, and eventually, my college tuition. I was their only child, their everything. They called me their little star, believing I would shine brighter than they ever could. I did shine, or at least it looked that way from the outside. I graduated with honors, landed a good job in marketing, and fell in love with Alex, a kind-hearted software engineer from a well-to-do family. Our love story felt like a fairy tale at first. Alex's parents, the Whitmans, were successful professionals, his dad a lawyer, his mom a real estate agent. They lived in a beautiful suburban home with manicured lawns and hosted elegant dinner. When Alex proposed after 3 years together, I was over the moon. But planning the wedding quickly revealed cracks I had ignored for too long. The Whitmans offered to cover most of the costs for a lavish venue, a 5-star caterer, and 200 guests. "It's our gift," they said with warm smiles. My parents, who had saved for years in a small jar labeled Sarah's Dream Wedding, were grateful but quiet. They insisted on contributing what they could. Flowers from Mom's tiny garden, handmade favors, and Dad's offer to help set up. I felt torn but excited. Love would bridge any gaps, right? As the big day approached, subtle changes began. The guest list discussions turned tense. Mrs. Whitman would casually say things like, "We have so many important colleagues and family friends coming, business associates who could help Alex's career." My parents' names were on the list, of course, but when I reviewed the seating chart a week before the wedding, something felt off. I asked the planner about it, and she hesitated. The Whitmans adjusted a few things to accommodate VIPs. "Your parents are family, so they'll be fine standing or sitting wherever there's space near the back." Fine. My heart sank. I brushed it off as a miscommunication. Surely Alex would fix it. The morning of the wedding was a whirlwind of emotions. I stood in my white gown, lace and pearls shimmering under the lights, staring at my reflection. Mom helped zip me up, her hands trembling slightly. She looked beautiful in the modest lavender dress she had saved for months to buy. Dad waited outside, his old suit pressed perfectly, a single red rose pinned to his lapel, the same kind he used to bring Mom on anniversaries. "You look like an angel, Mija," he whispered when he saw me, his eyes misty. I hugged them both tightly, inhaling the familiar scent of home, coffee, fabric softener, and unconditional love. At the venue, an elegant garden hall filled with fairy lights and blooming arches, the ceremony was about to begin. Guests streamed in, dressed in designer outfits, laughing and taking photos. I peeked from the bridal suite and my stomach dropped. The front rows were packed with the Whitmans, side, uncles, aunts, business partners, even Alex's ex-colleagues. My parents were nowhere in sight. I found them later, standing near the entrance with a few other overflow guests, politely declining offers for folding chairs from sympathetic strangers. Mom's shoulders were slumped, Dad's hand resting protectively on her back. They smiled at me when our eyes met, but I saw the quiet pain there, the same look they had when they missed my college graduation because they couldn't afford the trip. Tears stung my eyes. This wasn't just about seats. It was about years of feeling like my parents were an afterthought in my new life. The late-night calls where Mom would ask about my day and I'd rush her off because Alex and I had dinner plans. The holidays where I chose the Whitmans' fancy cabin over our small apartment traditions. The subtle comments from Alex's family about cultural differences, and how my parents' accents are simple gifts, added charm. I had let it slide, convincing myself it was temporary, that marriage would blend our worlds. But standing there, seeing my parents, my heroes, relegated to the sidelines on my wedding day, something broke inside me. The music started. Guests took their seats. Alex waited at the altar, handsome and beaming. As my dad prepared to walk me down the aisle, I stopped. "Wait," I said, my voice shaky but firm. The planner looked panicked. "Sarah, we're on schedule." I ignored her. I walked straight to my parents, took their hands, and led them toward the front. Whispers rippled through the crowd. "Mrs. Whitman's" smile faltered. Alex looked confused but concerned. I stood there, in front of everyone, microphone in hand from the ceremony setup. My heart raced like it never had before. "Before we begin," I said, my voice echoing across the garden, "I need to say something. My parents, Maria and Roberto, gave me everything. They worked until their hands bled so I could stand here today. They taught me love, resilience, and sacrifice. Yet today, there are no seats for them in the front, where they belong. No place of honor for the people who made me who I am." Tears streamed down my face. I love Alex with all my heart, but I won't start our marriage by forgetting where I came from. If there's no room for my parents here, then maybe this isn't the wedding I want. Silence fell. Heavy, uncomfortable silence. Alex stepped forward, his eyes wide with realization. He walked over, took my hand, and then turned to his parents. "She's right," he said quietly but loud enough for everyone to hear. "We got caught up in the details, in making everything perfect for appearances. But family isn't about appearances. Mom, Dad, can we make this right?" To my surprise, Mr. Whitman stood up first. He motioned to the ushers and personally helped carry 2 chairs from the back to the front row, right beside where Alex's parents sat. Mrs. Whitman's eyes softened as she hugged my mom. "We're so sorry," she whispered. "We didn't see it." The ceremony proceeded, but everything felt different. My dad walked me down the aisle with pride swelling in his chest, Mom dabbing tears beside him in her rightful seat. Vows were exchanged not just between Alex and me, but with a deeper understanding of the families we were joining. During the reception, the Whitmans made an effort, asking my parents about their journey, laughing over Dad's stories of fixing cars, and even dancing with them to old songs Mom loved. Alex pulled me aside later, holding me close. "Thank you for speaking up," he said. "I needed that reminder. You made our day more beautiful." In the months that followed, real change took root. We started family dinners alternating between both homes, simple home-cooked meals at my parents' apartment one week, backyard barbecues at the Whitmans' the next. Alex learned basic phrases in my parents' native language. I made time for weekly calls home. No rushing off. The Whitmans sponsored a small community event where my dad shared his mechanic skills with local kids, and Mom's sewing talents found new appreciation. Our marriage grew stronger because we refused to let old patterns divide us. Looking back, that moment at the altar wasn't just about seats, it was about reclaiming my voice and honoring the foundation of my life. It taught me that love isn't passive, it requires courage to speak up, even when it feels terrifying. To every viewer watching this, don't wait for a wedding day crisis to value your parents or stand up for what's right. Call them today. Make space for them in your life, not just your photos. And if you're planning your own future, remember that blending families means lifting everyone up, not leaving some standing in the back. This story is for anyone who's ever felt caught in the middle, anyone who's watched their loved ones sacrifice silently. If it moved you, if it made you reflect on your own family, please like this video, subscribe for more heartfelt real-life stories, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Drop a comment. Have you ever had to speak up for your family? Let's build a community that values roots and love above all. Thank you for watching. Your support means the world. Until next time, hold your people close.